any advice for parents who feel that their child may or may not be ready, or feel that they need to step in, or anything like that? What have you seen, and kind of what advice do you have for those type of parents who just can't let it go?
I'll let the student handle it, and for those parents, talk to us on the side, or you can write us a follow-up email. That's I think the best way to give the student encouragement to talk to us and say, I did it, and then anything that you need to know, because let them get their information that they need, and then you can sit quietly and assess. But ultimately, if you need additional information, write me an email. Just ask for my contact information, and that way, you're still, again, getting what you need, but you let your child, your baby, your honey bun, whatever you want to, you let them do their thing, because that's ultimately what they're going to need to do once they get to the school. So start the process now of letting them advocate for themselves.
Well, one of the things that I would say to parents is please take the time to listen to your child, right? To get their perspective. Secondly, I would say as a parent, you have to educate yourself on the current admissions processes and experiences that are today, right? Because those processes have changed tremendously over the last 25 to 30 years.
As a parent, one of the biggest mistakes you can make is thinking that the college preparatory process that you went through is the same process that your child is going to go through. It's been years and things have changed. So make sure you connect with an access point, like your guidance counselor, a college recruiter, or an admissions professional. Make sure you're talking to somebody that can assist your child through the high school to college transition.
So you can't apply the same pressure, techniques, structure to your students. You're going to do nothing but stress them out even more, and sometimes it may be with inaccurate information. So, listen to your scholar, your child, and make sure that you, as a parent, research the process for admissions or with a particular institution, current date.
And I think have those conversations as a family as well. You don't want to wait, over throughout the years, there have been plenty of conversations that happen in front of us, which is fine. But then I'm thinking, you probably should have talked about this before, right? Right. About location or the size of the school, or, the tough one, finances. But you have to have those honest conversations. And so I think it's about listening on both sides, but also from the student perspective, being able to say what is important to them as they look for a college fit, but then from the parent or guardian side, what is important from that perspective. And let's really get into that. Right. And then, it's uncomfortable, but you have to get uncomfortable talking about the financial piece too. How much do you plan to contribute as a family? Do you have a savings plan? Is there not that opportunity? So that's an important part of the conversation. So that way students can be mindful of that as you navigate the process. Parents have said many times, well, this is where my child wants to go, but that's not going to be the best fit. Have that conversation, and that's okay. And I know it's difficult, but it's better to have that in advance, just so you can try to be on the same page.
Right. Well, I'll just add, I hear the common thing, make sure it's what they, it's what they want. And, for me as a parent, I learned a valuable lesson in that, after we spent about $30,000 at Morehouse College, and it was because it was all me, because I wasn't listening. So, at an early age, my son he was grooming himself in the industry to be a professional dancer. He was already working, but in my mind as a high school counselor, you're going to college. You can do that. You could do both. You don't have to worry about bills. You don't have to worry about any of that. So, freshman year I saw him, it was right during COVID, that whole transition. So he never really got attached to the school. So I know that's, kind of he didn't feel like he fit in. I think, had he fit in, he would have tried to do it just because mama wanted him to do it. But that wasn't, so he didn't connect with the school. So I want to try Georgia State. Okay, I hear you. So we did that. So I was hands off, trying to let him navigate his process. And I was just noticing I wasn't hearing anything about schoolwork. I didn't hear any late nights. Nothing going on in the room. I was like, I'll let him navigate his process. So, you know, he came to me one day. He said, "Mom, I don't want to go to college anymore. I just want to pursue mind you, he was doing all of that while on tour, trying to, you know, but I'm waiting on him to say, Mom, I don't want to do both. I don't want to do that." And he was like, "That's your dream, not mine." Wow. And I think I probably elevated and did a couple of flips.
Yes.
I was like, you know, all kind of things going through my mind. I was like, we could have spent that $30,000 on something, but you know, nonetheless, I had to respect that. He came to me as a young man. He said, "That's your dream, not mine."
Parents, take a page out of my book. Make sure you talk to your child. Make sure you have candid conversations, and be sure that you're listening. Keyword, listen, and make sure that before you make that investment, it's something that they really want to do. Make sure that they have a plan, and then you have a plan to support them, but it should be their plan.
I wasn't listening because I was too busy, you know, worried about all of that. But with all of that, I said, okay, if you're going to pursue your dream and that's what you're going to do, it needs to look like what it looks like when I go to work every day. I handle my business, I pay my bills, and I'm responsible for, you know, that's what it needs to look like. He said, okay, I'll show you. He showed me. So you got to allow your children that space and that room to be able to do that.
As a college-bound parent, you have 3 main responsibilities. Number 1, expose your child to opportunities. Number 2, provide access to information. And number 3, support decisions. As long as you can do those 3 things, you're in a really good position for success.
So that was a lesson for all of us. And he still owed me $30,000. But yeah,
Well, that's good.
I'll wait. I'll give him some time with that.
But he owes you.
Yeah.
Oh, he owes you. Well, that's good though. But listening, because a 4-year university isn't for every student, right? And so there are a lot of other options that students can get complete post-secondary education, right? And so I know that's one thing that is big in your presentations and your teachings that you're doing at your district. Like, what are all of the options that you are sharing with your families?
So, and I'll share a personal story. My child was interested in a particular career in IT. And what they shared with me is that I don't have to go to college for this. I can go and get my certification in this, and this. I can teach myself YouTube, high school, and get the certification that I need and go right into the field. And so I started, working with Meta, Google, other IT organizations. And to that point, you don't have to have necessarily a degree. They are looking for, can you do the job, and a particular certification. So you could have a master's degree, but not have this particular certification, and then you can't work for them. So as parents, we have to do our research, students have to do the research, and then we have to put everything in context. Right. So what we're doing now is making sure that our students come up with plans about where they want to go, and then we're going to give them all of the options so they can make the best informed decision, whether it is a non-degree credential, a certification, a 2-year program, whatever it is, military, whatever it is, we're there to support them in that process to make the most informed decision. So if that means bringing industry to the high school with the colleges and the students and the parents at the same time, those are some of the programs that we're trying to put together so the students can see it and touch it and feel it, and then find that right fit for them so we can move forward. Right. I also let them know that you can stack and layer things. You are not just stuck in one pathway, one option for your entire life. You could do a non-degree credential. You could love college so much that you want to play sports, and you can do both, right? You can do multiple things, and just encouraging them, to do that. But it has to be the right fit for them as individuals. Yeah. And then it's our jobs to put that support around students in that process and have these conversations and the exposure early.
Yeah, because right now, we have to be more savvy. We're not just going to go to college just to go to college, right? And we're not going to take on, for a lot of students, student loan debt, just for the sake of, I want to go to college, right? We want to make sure that we are strategically planning, our future. And so that's what we're working with our students, making sure that they're a little more savvy consumers of education.
That they're moving with a purpose in a sense. But I will say what you all mentioned, just the transitioning, that you don't have to, like you said, be stuck in one area. So many colleges also have connections to other colleges. So you can start 2 years there and finish out your degree and in somewhere else. Sometimes you can get dual degrees. You can get literally, spend 3 years here, spend 2 years here, and get both degrees from both institutions. So again, doing the research, but just understanding that you're not stuck at one space. So you don't have to feel as if, oh, I made the biggest mistake of my life. No, just a temporary blemish. That's all it is, But you have to be open to change, and you most definitely can. Remember that you can always transfer to the institution of your dreams. So always keep your options open and have a backup plan. And you can find your passion, your purpose over time. So I don't think students don't have to get it right the first time. And you just the way you all said that is perfect. And I think they need to hear it and understand that you can make a change over time.